Have you ever noticed how a heart can shift without making a sound? One day his presence feels like home. You talk, you laugh, you feel chosen. And then, little by little, the warmth fades. You stare at your screen waiting for a message that used to arrive before you even missed him. You replay memories, looking for the moment he started slipping away, and inside, a quiet ache begins. Not chaos, not drama, just a silence that burns like fire under the skin. Before you blame yourself, before you let fear tell you a story. Listen, sometimes silence isn't a punishment. Sometimes silence is a teacher, a truth teller, a mirror showing you what your heart has been too loyal to see. And today, I want to help you understand that silence through the wisdom of Stoicism. Because you deserve peace. You deserve clarity. You deserve to stay whole. Even when someone else grows distant, when someone pulls away, it rarely happens suddenly. Feelings change quietly. Energy fades slowly. Connection becomes thin, thread by thread. And silence becomes a message that words were too afraid to speak. Maybe he feels uncertain. Maybe he feels insecure. Maybe he is simply overwhelmed by his own thoughts and doesn't know how to let you in. This silence might not be rejection. It may be reflection. But here's the truth. You can't control what he thinks in that silence. You can only control what you think. How you respond. How you protect your peace. Stoicism teaches us to stop chasing what is outside our control and start mastering what is within our soul. You don't need to run after someone who is stepping back, because when you chase, you teach them that your worth depends on their attention. But when you stay calm, you show them something rare. You show them emotional maturity, quiet confidence, a woman who does not crumble just because someone else became unsure. There is a unique power in your stillness, not the kind that says, "I don't care," but the kind that whispers, "I choose peace. I choose self-respect. I choose me." The modern world tells women, chase, fix, explain, prove. But Stoicism says, breathe, observe. Respond only from strength. When you stop trying to force connection, you become magnetic without trying. He notices when you stop reaching out first. He notices when your world doesn't revolve around him anymore. He notices that you are not waiting at the door he closed halfway. Silence can turn attention around. Not because you are playing a game, but because your energy has value. And in that quiet, you start to hear yourself again. You remember the woman you were before you made space for him in your heart. You remember the dreams you pressed pause on. The laughter that came from you, not from his presence. The confidence that didn't need approval to shine. His silence becomes a doorway back to your true self. That version of you is still there, waiting, strong, whole, and capable of loving without losing herself. This silence is not a void. It is a return. Hey, coming home sometimes. His distance is not a goodbye. Sometimes it is a reset. A breath between two hearts. People heal in hidden ways. People think in quiet spaces. People grow when they step back from what scares them. Maybe this silence is helping both of you heal wounds you never spoke about. Maybe he needs to feel what your absence means. And maybe you need to feel how powerful your presence actually is. Love that returns after growth is stronger than love that never faced silence. But if the connection does not return, then silence has also done you a kindness. It showed you the truth without a fight. Not every love story is meant to last forever. Some are here to awaken a lesson, to shape your strength, to prepare you for someone who is truly ready. If his silence slowly turns into an ending, you will know, not because he told you, but because your heart stops begging for answers. You stop checking the phone. You stop rehearsing apologies for things you never did wrong. You stop holding space for someone who no longer shows up. Acceptance arrives quietly. And with it, peace. Endings don't always need anger. Sometimes the most graceful goodbye is the one that never gets spoken. Just a silent thank you for what was learned. A gentle closing of a chapter that did not destroy you. It strengthened you, and then the most beautiful transformation happens. You begin to show up for yourself. You start giving yourself the good morning messages. You celebrate your wins instead of waiting for someone else's praise. You stop needing reassurance to feel worthy of love. You glow again. Not because he came back, but because you came back to yourself. Silence becomes your rebirth. A reminder that your value does not disappear just because someone stopped noticing it. Even in the quiet, especially in the quiet. You are enough. Emotional maturity is not pretending you don't care. It is caring without losing yourself. It is feeling the hurt without letting it become bitterness. It is looking at someone who once meant the world and saying in your heart, "I hope you find peace too." That is strength. That is dignity. That is the calm of a woman who understands her worth. You realize not everyone who leaves is a loss. Some people are simply lessons wrapped in a heartbeat. You stop forcing understanding from those who never tried to understand you. You stop overthinking why they changed and start appreciating how you grew. Peace isn't found in begging for closeness. It is found in honoring your boundaries and healing your heart from the inside out. Silence is not always indifference. Sometimes silence is grace, wisdom, a sign that you do not need to fight for someone who is unsure about you. The closure you seek is not in their words. It is in your acceptance. This happened. I learned. I'm still whole, and I will keep walking with my head high. That is how a queen rises. Calm, steady, unshaken. So listen, beautiful soul. If you feel someone's silence echoing in your heart right now, do not chase it. Do not fill the quiet with fear. Silence is not rejection. Silence is redirection. Back to your peace. Back to your strength. Back to your truth. Let silence teach you. Let it heal you. Let it shape you into a woman who knows her value with or without a hand to hold, because the right man will not be threatened by your strength. He will not be confused by your calm. He will not disappear when your heart needs support. The right man will meet you where peace begins, not where chaos tries to live, and he will stay. Not because you chased, not because you begged, but because he sees the rare woman you are, a woman who does not fear silence. A woman who learns from it, a woman who rises every single time. Sometimes the loudest answers arrive when you finally stop speaking and start listening to the quiet voice of your own soul. And your soul is ready to lead you somewhere better. Remember this, your worth does not decrease when someone becomes silent. Their silence only reveals what they were unable to hold. You were born to be understood by hearts that are ready. The calm begins with you.